everyone, it's Ashley, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you my thoughts on the 39A Dare to Create palette along with a tutorial. So let's get right into it. So I have the original packaging. I got it for Christmas last year, and I'll just show you the shades here. This has so many different colors and I really like the formula. I will mention later that I feel like there are some shades that are too similar to be in this palette together, but the formula is good and it's just a great palette overall. So let's get into the tutorial. So I've already primed my eyelids with concealer and I set them with the cream shade from another palette because this palette doesn't have a good cream shade in my opinion. But today I'm going to be creating a halo eye, so let's get started. Okay, so change of plans. I tried to do a halo eye using a couple of the purpley shades and a blue shade, but they weren't sticking to my eyelid. Like the darker matte shades weren't sticking. So I don't know what was happening, but I'm just going to try to do something else. So now it's probably not going to be a halo eye. I'm just going to do one of the looks that I know works that I've done before. So let's just get started with that. I'm going to start by using this shade right here. So I'm going to use that shade as my transition shade. Next, I'm going to take this lighter green shade and put that into the outer corner. I'm also going to blend that into the crease. Now I'm going to go in with this darker green matte shade and use the same brush to deepen the outer corner and crease. Now we need to do some blending, so I'm going to be taking the same brush I used earlier for the crease shade and just blend out the edges. For the lid, I'll be taking this shade on my finger. As you can see, the metallics are very pigmented. I'm going to deepen the crease using the darker green shade we used earlier. You may need to blend again or reapply the shimmer shade. So for the lower lash line, I'm going to be using the same two mattes that we used on the lid. So this palette doesn't really have a good highlight shade, so I just went into the Jaclyn Hill palette to get one of the shades from there. And now I'm just going to apply mascara. Here's the finished look, and now we'll get into the review. There are a couple things that I would like to mention about this palette. First of all, like I said earlier, I was trying to do a look and it just was not working for me. This shade here and a few of these mattes just did not work for me. I have used this palette before and it's worked pretty well with some of the shades, but a few of these shades are just not good for me. Also, some of these shades and these shades also stain your eyelids, which I think that's actually too pigmented, which I didn't think would be a thing. But the shades that I do like are the greens here that I used on my eyes today. These oranges here are really good. The gold is alright and the browns are okay. But just a few of the matte shades, the darker matte shades, just don't work for me. Also, there are several shades that I think are too similar to be in this palette, so I'll go ahead and swatch those for you. So here are 5 of the shades that I think are very similar. You can see there are slight differences, like a few of them are slightly darker than the others, but I just think that these are all way too similar to be in the same palette. I'll show you what those shades are in the palette. So those shades that I just swatched are these three here, along with that one, and this brown shade here. I just think that they are way too similar to be put in the same palette, and I would have liked to see something different than just the same brown shade. Here are the next three shades. I also think that these are very similar. These are three of the big transition shades, and while I do think that it's good that they have transition shades that are really big, and these are slightly different, I think I would have liked to see a light base color, like a shade you can use to set your concealer, and a highlight shade, because this palette doesn't have one. So I'll show you the three shades in the palette. So it's the first three shades right here. Overall, I do like this palette and I will use it, but there's just some shades in here that don't work for me. If you really like colors, you can probably get some use out of it. All of the shimmers are really good. It's just a few of the darker mattes that just don't work for me. But anyways, I really hope you enjoyed my review and tutorial using the Morphe 39A palette. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!